You're listening to the Orchestra Teacher Podcast. Welcome to the Orchestra Teacher Podcast. This is Dr. Charles Laux, and coming to you with an awesome episode today on a Tuesday afternoon. And I have with me our very special guest, Miss Jean Lee. Jean is teaching at the Michigan State University, my fault. And we have never really met each other in person and never really had a chance to chat before. So I'm really looking forward to meeting you. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Charles. Thanks for having me. I've been a long-term admirer from afar, and I think I've even referenced some of your presentation materials with my own students.
Awesome. Well, I've heard nothing but wonderful things about you, and then I put up a little promo this morning on Facebook, and everyone's like, she's awesome. So I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm glad that we're able to make it work. I know you're busy with your teaching schedule and your kids' schedule, and I feel the same way. I got in the middle of baseball season and concert coming up next week, and so there's all this going on, but it's so great that you're here, and looking forward to just getting to know you and chat with you and share all the great things you're doing. So tell us a little bit about your background and where you're from and where you've been and where you are, I guess.
Thanks. So I am in Michigan, born and raised, and apparently when I was 15 years old, I went up to my old orchestra director, Marilyn Kessler, and told her I was going to have her job one day. And 12 years later, I had her job. So the power of manifestation right there.
That's amazing. So it just like when you have those things that are they're those goals, and then it finally comes true, it's like really just amazing.
Yeah, cool. It was really neat. And I thought I was going to be like well established in my 40s and so on, but when I finally took over that program, and this is the program I grew up in, really great orchestra program, Oakham's Public Schools, Oakham's High School, and but no, I got it as a young teacher at that time. I'd only had 4 years of experience, but and I landed my dream job, and thought I was going to retire there, but things happen.
Things do happen that way, and that's life is amazing, and you sometimes just look back and you go, I never thought that was going to happen, and then it does. And that could be in good ways or bad ways too, because I've also had that happen as well. But
all good. No, I just still live in Oakham, still surrounded by former students and so on, and wonderful colleagues. But third child, a surprise child was born, and I needed more flexibility.
There you go.
And I mean, I thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and literally not even 2 weeks into being a stay-at-home mom, I got recruited by MSU to come and join their faculty. So
wonderful. Well, I know it's a great place, and there's been a lot of awesome things that have come out of Michigan State and University of Michigan, and that whole area is like the whole state is really, really string focused, and a great programs there. And there's like been a lot of legends that have just gone through and been from Michigan. The string legends. The recent passing of Bob Culver, obviously very a huge loss for the profession. And I didn't really know Bob that well, but he taught my sensei Bob Gillespie, so I feel like I'm a Culver grandchild pedagogically, and so there's a lot of things I know that a lot of us do. So there's that whole area is just an explosion of amazing string folks. Bob Phillips is there, and
very lucky. Just these giants in the string world. And Bob Culver, I mean, I took a course with him, and I still carry his teaching every day with me, the master teacher profile. Once I'm done with my lessons, even this morning, I'm like, okay, did I scan the room enough? Did I make enough eye contact? Were my jokes still relatable? Or was it,
It's funny how we self-assess so much, and all those strategies that has been passed down from teacher to teacher to teacher still stand today.
Very much.
So, well, tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're doing at Michigan State now, and some of the initiatives you have, and how it's going for you.
Oh yeah, it's
being
going
that you're the convert from the public school teacher to the college teacher and how it's worked for you.
It's been a really fun journey so far. Gotta say, I was just telling one of my colleagues, I think earlier this morning, I feel like I'm in my element now. It's uh, it's a unique position. There's no other position like it right now in the College of Music, in that not only am I teaching, but I'm also recruiting in
Ah, yep.
music. Right now it's 60% teaching. I've got 3 courses that I'm teaching right now, just class strings, string methods, and a graduate pedagogy course. And then the other days I'm literally traveling around the state, clinicking with other orchestras and doing a lot of relationship based recruiting.
Hmm.
And I have so much fun doing that.
Yeah, that was one of the definite perks of college teaching, was the ability to go out and do those kind of things and recruit and just um, have a variety of experiences and kids. And yeah, that's super fun.
It is, because I mean, well, you know how it is. Back when I was actually in the classroom, I get invitations, I just couldn't go. There just wasn't time, enough
Yeah.
bandwidth. And now it's
Yeah.
like I'm seeing such a beautiful cross section of our string programs around the state.
Nice.
Really fantastic teaching going on. And it's all good energy. Really
Hmm.
happy doing it.
Yeah, it's hard. I sometimes feel like I turn down more than I'm able to accept, and
Yeah.
it's what it is, and it's a good feeling, and it's a good problem to have. And I love my classroom, I love my kids, and for me right now, in terms of my family, uh, timing and schedules and my retirement schedule, hopefully, down the road, it's going to be a little while, but
Yeah.
that fits me, and so that's great that it's worked out for you and that you've been able to do that.
Yeah.
My recent move last year to my new high school was, I love my former high school like crazy, but most of my move to my new high school was family related. I was, 20 miles from home before. I'm 4 miles from home now. So like
Mhm.
just a huge, it's a life-changing experience. I can't even listen to a full movement of a symphony now on the way to school because it's too short.
I do
uh,
miss those long commutes sometimes, because
yeah.
you could kind of decompress, the
Yeah,
drive.
so I didn't I miss that, the kind of that alone time, but at the same time, I don't miss spending all that time. And when there
Yeah.
was traffic, real like in Atlanta, it can get pretty ugly. So,
Oh,
um,
I
you
bet,
know,
yeah.
so it's that, and then now I'm on the same schedule as my children, and my 2 boys, and so we have our breaks together, exactly together, and we had some together before, but not all of them, and now everything's there, and it's good. So I totally understand, like that need for having that time with your family and making that time, because I know my boys are 14 and 12 now, and I have 6 more years, and they're both going to be gone. It's going to go
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah,
It
it's crazy.
does.
Yeah, like I said, I never thought I would leave public school teaching, really truly didn't, but, family first. And,
That's right.
uh,
That's right.
it was a lot, because my husband back at the time he's also a musician, was
Okay.
also a director. And so between their 2 schedules and 3 kids, it was insane. And so, when the pandemic started, he took time off to be a stay-at-home dad, and then it was my turn. So,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's give and take. It's give and take. What is your principal instrument?
Violin. I
Violin.
was a double major, violin and piano.
Oh, nice. Oh, piano. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. And so what? Before you came to Michigan State, you were at what school were you at?
I was at Okemos High School,
Okay.
Okemos Public Schools, born and raised, so I'm very, very local. I used to be
Yes.
embarrassed about it, but now with the role that I'm doing, it's actually really helping because I know a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Make sure those that networking connection, super
Yes.
important, super important. So you went through that school program, and then you went back and took over that position.
Took over that
And
program.
that's the only position that you've had then?
Huh?
That's the only position that you've had besides Michigan
No,
State? Okay,
no.
okay,
My very first job was in the Jackson Public Schools.
Jackson. Okay, and that's all in Michigan.
Yep,
Okay,
all in Michigan.
I don't know all
Yeah,
of
no,
the
that's
look.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's kind of funny, a little ironic, because growing up, I'd argue with my parents, and I'd like threaten to move really, really far away, and I'm back in my hometown, just 5 minutes away from mom and dad. But
Wow. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's great things about that too.
Mhm.
I had looked at doing that when I got out of school, and when I I'm from Ohio, so when I got out of undergraduate, there were like no positions anywhere remotely close to. In Ohio, you kind of someone had to die to for you to find a job. So I looked nationally, and I just moved sight unseen to Las Vegas from Ohio, and
Oh
moved
my gosh,
top
I almost did that.
top middle school out there, sight unseen. Never had been out west. Never saw the school. Just stepped in, and it was probably one of the greatest things I could have done because I had some amazing mentors there, and it was just an awesome experience, and got to teach middle school. And then my second year teaching, I opened a brand new school, and
Wow.
just it was uh, a lot of ups and downs with that, but mostly ups, and just some of the great years of my teaching. Even my first few years were just awesome because I had so many great mentors.
That's amazing.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
the mentoring aspect of it is huge, and I think that's also why I kind of remained in this area because I had so many fantastic built-in mentors
Hmm.
um, to rely on, some great resources, and but it's really funny you said Las Vegas. That was almost my story. I was about to take a job in Las Vegas, and then I got a phone call, and Jackson Public Schools had just opened up, and
Yep.
so I
Yep.
went there instead.
Yeah,
Wow.
when I was there, it's a great place to be. There are so many fine teachers, and I had all these. I learned from so many amazing teachers, Chuck Cushionary and Shelley Berger, and my mentor, Barbara James, and they're just awesome people out there. And I got to work with Jeremy Wolstenhume and my friend Jeff Newman, and all these people that were just people that I learned from, and it shaped me in immeasurable ways.
Yeah,
So.
and nothing can replace those first, like, 4 or 5 years in your career. You learn so much. I mean, to this day, I still credit my very first job for practically teaching almost everything I know. Because I mean, every imaginable situation happened in those first 4 years.
Mhm. Mhm. What are
Yeah.
some of the things that you're seeing in string ed that, like, you're, like, happy about, excited about, or some of the things that you're concerned about? Do you have any, the recent trends or things that you're seeing happening going on?
Yeah, and I talk about this with my non-string ed students a
Mhm.
lot. It's the teacher shortage, of course.
Yep.
And then you narrow that down to music teacher shortage and then string teacher
It's
shortage.
probably worse. I don't know. I mean, have there been any studies recently with the numbers? I know that it was a long time ago there were some studies, but I
Yeah, no,
wonder if there's anything recent.
I'm sure there are. I'm working on finding them. So this part of my research is relatively new. So that's a goal this year is to get more
Cool.
updated statistics. But yeah, so now when I'm teaching like the class strings, the string methods courses, always I'm always reminding my instrumental and vocal ed people, you need to keep an open mind because this is a reality for you. You're probably
Yeah,
going to get the section of strings at some point.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
some of the best string teachers I know, like Daniel Long, Gabe Villacerta, I mean, do not come from the string world initially.
Mhm.
So, gosh, and we even have a recent MSU grad who's just killing it in Oxford,
Yes,
doing a
yes,
fantastic job.
my
Shout out to Marissa Weller. So,
it happens, there's a gentleman that we had on my podcast several times, Adam Gresham, and, he's a percussionist, and, he just said, "I'm gonna do strings," and then the last, was, well, it wasn't this past year, but the year before, he went to the Michigan workshop with, Michael Hopkins, he went to the Ohio State workshop, and
oh,
studied privately with some teachers in town, and he is absolutely killing the middle school, there and doing great work, and, it's just so fun to see that
mhm.
if you want something, you can do it, and you know, um, I don't know how many of us string folks go the other way and go to the band world, but
We
not as
do.
many maybe,
No, I
but
don't know. It's surprising. I mean, I know quite a few who do, but um, they need to toot their own horns a little bit more, I think, though.
probably because I don't know personally anybody, but, there's gotta be some folks out there
Oh,
that
I
do
do, and
that
they're
as
doing
well.
a fantastic job.
Yeah, yeah. That's so cool. That's so fun. And anything else that you can think of?
Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, so we just did a shout out to folks who are not initially string teachers going into strings, but I mean, I think just trying to attract more into string education.
Mhm.
There's some mindset shifts that I think need to happen in the string world that we're a little slow to do. Um, you know, I guess these days I've been kind of ruminating a lot on the various philosophies, like why is there such a distinct line between performance and education?
Yes.
And me right now, I'm right in the middle because I not only am I teaching ed students, but I'm also teaching so many graduate students, DMA students, right?
Okay.
And trying to get them to adopt more of a teacher mindset as well.
Hmm.
And then there's the whole part about how accessible are we actually making the certification process to our students to become educators.
Yes. I mean,
So
we sometimes it felt like when I was in teaching college, it felt like it was so difficult just to jump through all those hoops to become a teacher. And, kids would either struggle or fail and then be like, oh, I'm just done, and rather than making it to the point where we can, um, help them get through it and make it a little bit more simple. Not that it should be easy, but it doesn't, I mean, part of learning how to teach is teaching, and getting out there and doing it. And, the student teaching experience is great, but I don't know if I don't know if it's definitely not enough, but how long are we going to keep these teachers in college for? 6 years? It's not a 6-year degree, so, those are some big challenges, just to get through everything.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and I think I have kind of another weird, I don't want to say weird, but interesting perspective in that I'm an immigrant or a child
Hmm.
of immigrants, and so I sympathize a lot with our international students who come in because the music education system there is set up so differently from how it is in America with our public schools, especially.
Hmm.
So they come here, they just think that just having a performance degree is enough to get them into a certification program later on.
Hmm.
And I can't tell you how many students contact me. Here they are in the United States, they want a steady job, they want benefits. And what are they doing? They are teaching more than they are performing once they
Yes.
graduate. And so they're like, well, how do I get certified? And it's like, oh my gosh, their applied professors never really talked about this with them. They had
Right.
no idea what the system was like. Again, we don't make it easy. And so right
Right.
now, amongst many other things in our music ed department, but one of the conversations we are having is, what can we do to create a master's with certification program?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, and seeing how many credits you can count towards that, and yeah,
right.
right. Yeah,
But the international component does make things a little bit more complicated, but if there's any way we can make that happen, that'd be great. And also being really honest that music ed is not very diverse in the makeup of its teachers either.
mhm, right.
So, just trying to diversify the pool a little bit more too.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's, yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on right now. Yeah. Um, Fantastic. And then, what are some of the things that you're like, any future research or future plans or things that you're thinking about, like long-term goals at the university?
Well, I am there to rebuild the program.
Okay.
So the string ed position was vacant for a long time, I think like 6 or
Right.
7
I had
years.
heard
And
about that.
right, and what's kind of funny is that, a few years ago, I think maybe 4 years ago, a bunch of us, string teachers in Michigan and, well, alumni, MSU alumni, actually not just Michigan, but all over, we wrote a letter to the dean of the College of Music saying, "What's going on? We really need to fill this position."
Mhm,
And so then they created a committee to try to bring it back.
mhm.
And it's so funny because I think I was one of the first people to sign that letter, and I helped draft it. And it was one of the first people to
Eh,
sign
and you got the job.
it. Here I am.
Hire
Here I
me, yeah.
am.
But like you said, you weren't expecting that, and,
No, I wasn't at all. It was not
yeah,
in the career
yeah,
plan at
yeah.
all.
So yeah, and so a lot of the professors at the universities have the terminal degree, and I'm assuming that you don't have that terminal degree
I do not have
right
a
now.
PhD or a
Yeah, yeah,
DMA. No, I
yeah,
mean, this is my 20th year of teaching, and
yeah.
I joke around, but it's actually not a joke because it's true. I'm like, well, I was too busy teaching and having babies,
Right. No, and that was the thing. Like I had done started mine and all that before kids, and I had my kids later. I would say later compared to a lot of people, and so if I had to try to do that now, I don't think I could do it. And it
I
was hard
completely
enough. It was hard enough finishing it with two young ones. It was the the worst year of my life. Honestly, I could say that truthfully. Just the everything that was going on at that time was the worst year of my life, and waking up, 3:30 in the morning, writing,
Ugh, yeah.
and then out the door with kids to daycare and whatnot, and teaching all day, and and then just being the college professor and conference presentations and all that going on, and so and then it was just that was the daily grind, and then get baseball and kids to bed, and then wake up next morning, do it again. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah, it was a really tough
My
time.
husband's living that right now. He's working full-time, teaching full-time, and doing his PhD.
Oh wow, yeah,
And we've got our 3 little ones. Yeah, I can't our today especially is quite the juggle because he has to drive out to Detroit for his class, and I have to
yeah.
teach my class, and so thank God grandma and grandpa are nearby. So
Yeah, and when you have that family part, that really helps. That
right.
really
Yeah,
helps.
it
Yeah,
does help.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if a PhD is in the works for me at this point, but maybe when the kids are a little older, if I find a topic I'm real passionate about, maybe I'll pursue it then. But right now, I'm just
yeah,
uh, I'm just on the road recruiting and
yeah.
and
But
teaching pedagogy.
but it sounds like where you are, it's like that you are the person, and you're like the perfect fit for that position.
I hope so.
In
I
terms
certainly
of
know enough people. I
knowing the
think,
area and
yeah,
knowing the people, and obviously your pedagogical knowledge and all that's great too. So, and personality, like I think you have like a really good foundation for being able to do all that really 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 well. So
well, thank you,
yeah.
Charles. I
Well, you're
appreciate
welcome. Of course. I like I said, I've had a lot of guests on here, and personality is really important in teaching, and I think we
Mhm.
have there's a lot of performers too that I've met, and like, oh, I want to teach, and I was like, I just don't know if that's the right fit, for it's because it's a personality thing, it's a work ethic thing, it's a musician thing, and it's a relationships thing. Teaching is
The
very
relationship.
relationship based.
Oh my goodness. Right now with my graduate pedagogy course, I mean, a lot of it is just I keep telling them like you just need to surround yourselves with a community of teachers. You know,
Hmm.
you got to build relationships with your students and with other teachers, and you got to have people you can talk to and discuss these things with because it's such a humbling profession. You never know what you're gonna get. Every day's
Yes.
different. Every personality needs something different.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, but it's such a rewarding profession, and I enjoyed my college years. I enjoy the public school teaching, I think, more, but that's not to say that I would not ever do college teaching again. I might do that. So
Yeah,
like we said, you never know where you're going to end up and what's going to
yeah.
happen.
I mean,
So
I think that's really cool that you see that about yourself and your career. And I could see myself going back to the public schools too at some point because it was bittersweet, like I
yeah,
had all these other career goals.
yeah,
I wanted to take my groups to the big conference. I wanted, you know what
yeah,
I mean? I wanted to take them to ASTA National and everything. But
yeah,
again, family first. So I needed the
absolutely.
flexibility. So um,
And your kids are a little younger than mine, but you have three. You said
I have three
three.
very rambunctious boys.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All boys too. Okay. So
Oh
yeah,
boy.
we're in the same boat there. Um, yeah, mine. You're just having a conversation, and then all of a sudden they're like wrestling in the kitchen. It's like, what,
Oh gosh.
like, where does that come from? But,
Yes.
but it goes fast, and so like you said, you make sacrifices for your in your career for your family, and it's totally worth it. It's totally
Mhm.
worth it.
It is.
But
It's
everything
so
else, once they're gone, you got all the time in the world to do whatever you want. So yeah, but right now it's baseball, and that's pretty much what my kids do. Is I coach and manage, and we're there Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday,
I was gonna say you
and
can kiss me
sometimes
with the
Fridays. Yeah.
guy.
So but it's super fun, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But wow, so Gene, so awesome to have you on the show, and I'm glad that we were able to finally make it work. I know we had like juggled schedules for a little while, and
Yeah.
but I'm glad
That
that you're
started
able to
as
be here, and we appreciate your time. And is there any way that people can contact you if they have questions about just you or having you out to do stuff or Michigan State? could you give us your contact information? And of course, I'll put it in the description of the podcast too. But you want to shout it out for us? Your
Sure.
email.
Yeah, my email's super easy. It's my same email from my undergrad, which I was very
That's
happy
hilarious.
It's just simply leejean@msu.edu. So LEEJEAN as in Nancy at msu.edu. I'm on
Right.
social media. I'm on Instagram at Jean Lee Studio.
Okay.
Is my handle on Instagram.
Great.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely put that in the description as well. But thanks you again for being here. It's really great to get to know you. And will you be at Midwest or ASTA this year?
I'm not sure about Midwest right now,
Uh,
but definitely at ASTA. I'm on a couple committees for
Great.
ASTA, so I'll be there.
Well, I will definitely see you there, and we
Yay.
can chat some more. But everybody, thanks again for listening in to the Orchestra Teacher Podcast. Dr. Charles Laux and Jean Lee, thanks again for being here. We will see you all next time. Thank you for tuning in. For resources and more information, visit orchestrateacher.net.